We're here at the County Chamber of Commerce, and today we are talking with Mr. James Lloyd, and he is running for House District 32. So, Mr. Lloyd, at this time, if you would take a few seconds to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you so much for having me here this morning. Like you said, my name is James Allen Lloyd, and I am from Anniston, Alabama. I grew up here, was raised here, born in 1957. Went to Welborn High School, then went to Auburn. After that, married my college sweetheart, Donna Lloyd Wright, and we moved here and had two children. They were born in Kentucky, Ashley and Blake, and they both graduated from Welborn High School. We all went to Auburn, and they're still in Auburn right now, and this is my home. I've been a general contractor since in Anniston since 1988. I started in 1980 after graduating from Auburn, worked for Earl McWhorter here in town. Actually went to Indiana, built power plants, and then to Bradstone and Gore in Atlanta. Moved here, bought Mr. Collier's company, and ran that business as Collier Lloyd. I also had that as general contractor.
Okay. All right. Well, we thank you for being here. To get in with our first question, it's dealing with infrastructure. With the infrastructure challenges facing the state, what are your solutions for the infrastructure issues, and how would you fund them?
Well, funding is a number one issue. It's unless we raise taxes, which is no one wants to do. We have the casino potential that we can do that, but also just appropriations of funds and how you get the funds from one budget to the other. Serving in those committees and working with groups over the years and different fundraisings, you can actually move money from one area to another. The infrastructure, though, is devastating. There's a lot of bridges that are out, and we need a lot of work on those areas, the roads as well.
Okay. All right, thank you. The next question deals with opioids. While prescriptions for opioids have fallen nationwide since 2012, Alabama still experiences a high rate of opioid-related prescriptions. In 2016, there were at least 1.2 opioid prescriptions for every individual in the state, and an 82% increase in the deaths from overdoses between 2006 and 2014. What potential measures do you support that might help mitigate this crisis?
We've got to do more education in our school systems of this abuse. We've got to open our eyes and recognize these abuses. When people are getting injured and we go to the doctors and the doctor gives us some medicine, we've got to know what that medicine is for. It's for short term, not for long term. My mother's 86 years old. She still works in her forest in Welborn at Ewelton every day. She got hooked on Advil. We almost lost her kidneys because of Advil, taking 3 a day. And even though it's not an opioid, it's a similar type effect of that. But you can get on those medicines. You've got to help the doctors write those right prescriptions and not just write prescriptions just because you say I need them.
Thank you. The next question we have is related to the budget. Next year, with budget considerations, what are your priorities and how would you fund them?
Again, with budgeting, I would like to see a casino or a gambling type revenues here come in, bingo, whatever would be in the area. It helps the revenues. The budgets, we'd like to establish those budgets so that the funds are in the right, allocated to the right locations.
Thank you. With declining population, what are your views and ideas on how to turn that decline around?
Crank a lawnmower and get a can of paint. First thing is developers, as we see, we bring people into this county, and we've done this for 30 years here at the chamber, and you drive them around. The first thing that they see is your front yard, and you see a lawnmower, you see high grass, you see a car on wheels, or you see trash. Let's get some trash cans. Clean up your own yard first. If you do that, help your neighbor. And that's first impression of people. That brings the industry in here. It opens their eyes.
Thank you. What are your solutions to help provide necessary resources to support Alabama's current and future workforce needs?
Oh, that's a tough one. When I first got out of college, I worked in Indiana, and it was all 100% union. The unions went away in the early 80s. Craft training went away. There's very little coming in. That's also what brought in the migrants. If it had not been for the Hispanics, the construction industry would have stopped 30 years ago. They're still coming into town, into the country and working. Some illegal and some are legal. But we have got to keep developing the craft training. I started that program at AGC as the state president in 2000, where we do a mentoring system, not only for companies, but also craft training in the fields. I'd like to continue that for other industries.
Thank you. What measure would you support to better stabilize hospital finances in order to prevent future closings?
Oh goodness. That's a little bit out of my league right now. I've not really gotten to that budget, so I'm just understanding where that comes from. I know the funding for the state hospitals are state funded, and then we have the private hospitals. It seems like we have some of both closings, but it seems like more the private hospitals are thriving, where some of the state hospitals are struggling more so. It is nice to have those satellite hospitals in different towns, but again, it gets back to the funding issues and how we appropriate those funds. That's just something we do. We've got to raise taxes with land. We've got to do something with gambling, or we've got to do something with our sales tax.
All right. Thank you. Now, if you would, if there's something that you thought about during the previous questions you may have wished you said or needed to clarify, or if whatever you would like for the voters to know about you. We've got a couple of minutes, and you just share with us whatever you would like for the voters to know.
Sure. My background as a developer and contractor, I've always tried to recruit industry in this area. And we talked about cleaning up our backyard. But what I've really come into this past year, kind of dropped in my lap, was a homeless, disabled veteran. He showed up at my doorstep, and through that whole process this past year, there's no services there for them. We have one home here in this county that has for the truly MIs, which the MIs are mentally ill, here next to the hospital, which is Highland Health now, which used to be Calhoun County. We have 38 group homes, which are drug and alcohol based, which is our opiate problems. So it's not just opiates, it's all it's methamphetamines, it's the crack, it's all the other drugs that are going on. The judges are putting them back on the street and going to these homes, but we don't have any type of avenue to help these people get off these drugs or not get on to start with.
Thank you. Mr. Lloyd, we appreciate your willingness to come in here and speak to us today, and you willing to put yourself as a candidate for the Alabama House of Representatives, District 32. We thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.